folks, so good morning, good night, good afternoon, everyone. So it is your host, Kevin the Navigator. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go inside the National Lighthouse Museum. So and I got my passport here, so I have my lighthouse passport. So I'm gonna get these stamped. We gotta check out the whole museum. We're gonna check out what's in there, and then, you know, if you guys come into the New York area, you guys can visit here as well, and then you guys could go to the Staten Island ferry. If you guys rent a car, you have to go through the Verrazano Bridge. There may be a toll, but try to use your feature that avoids the toll. So you have two options: either the ferry, as you see over here, or if you drive here, you gotta take the Verrazano Bridge and avoid the toll. But if you want to pay $6 for the toll, that's fine. It's cashless. So yeah. So as we get inside of here, we're gonna take a whole tour inside of here and get these bad boys stamped, and I'll see you guys soon.
These lighthouses were selected by patrons of the museum. They gave us a significant financial contribution, so we asked them to choose a particular lighthouse that they had an interest in. We tried to obtain the model of the lighthouse. We put it on display with their name underneath. Now, if we couldn't find the lighthouse, a model, because the company that makes these lighthouses is called Harbor Lights. They don't make lighthouses for every lighthouse in the country. We got a photograph. So in some cases, you'll see photographs of lighthouses as opposed to the actual model.
Okay.
From New York, we have quite a few on display here. Let's see, Montauk Point, you're from Long Island, so you might be familiar. This is probably one of the more famous ones, along with Fire Island, which is down here, I think. Fire Island, located on the southern shore of Long Island here.
Right there.
But we do have several from New York State as well. If you ever on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, underneath the George Washington Bridge, you have the little red lighthouse, Jeffrey's Hook.
That's what I was looking for. I was looking for that lighthouse.
Yeah, it's called Jeffrey's Hook, but it's been nicknamed the Little Red Lighthouse because it's underneath the George Washington Bridge. Before the bridge was built, that lighthouse was very important because that's a very narrow section of the Hudson River with a lot of traffic. And so this lighthouse would obviously make sure boats and ships didn't get too close to the shoreline because of the reefs. Once the bridge was built and it opened in 1931, the lights from the bridge were lights enough. So this was basically decommissioned. And it's only open once or twice a year in the fall for school groups. But it's at the bottom of Riverside Park on the Upper West Side of Manhattan there. Did you take the ferry today to come to Staten Island?
No, I drove. I thought about taking the ferry, but I was like, let me just drive, and then next time I'll take the ferry.
Well, here's what you will see. This is the one that's closest to Staten Island. We don't have a model of it, as you can see, but Robbins Reef is so close to Staten Island that the lighthouse keeper who lived here for many years, when you come over here, you'll read about Kate Walker. She raised two boys in that lighthouse, and when she got them up on a Monday morning, she actually rowed a rowboat to Staten Island because it was closer than rowing to Jersey. Left them on Staten Island with their family for 5 days, and on a Friday afternoon she picked them up. So this is the one that's closest, and if you take the Staten Island ferry, you see it right away when the ferry leaves the pier. Now we have a 4-minute film. If you'd like to see it, step inside the lighthouse, and while you're inside, I'll stamp your book. When you come out, I'll give you your book back, and I'll tell you more about the museum. So just step inside there.
Sure, thank you.
Bucking a storm, sailing blind in the black of night, a helmsman aims for hidden shore. Crashing into rocky headlands spells certain death. Where is safe harbor? Lighthouses came to guide the way. By the 1750s, young America needed a growing economy. Imports, exports, international commerce, tariffs from shipping, all were deemed essential. But navigation had to be made safer. The first Congress passed the Lighthouses Act. For over 300 years, America has built and maintained lighthouses, more than 1,000 of them. They are as diverse as the American landscape itself. Soon, the shorelines of America were graced by a string of the world's most unforgettable lighthouses. This site, the General Depot, consolidated services and supplies to U.S. lighthouses and lightships. A Fresnel lens is the heart of many lighthouses, both a core working element and an aesthetic masterpiece. America splurged on this expensive lens from Paris with its superior system. Hundreds of prisms bend and magnify light into a powerful beam. Those who tended these lenses had to endure extreme weather and prolonged isolation.
The sea is never still, and when agitated, it roars, shuts out every other sound, even drowning our voices.
A lighthouse keeper has got to be a jack of all trades and a master of every one of them.
A man had just as well die and be done with the world at once as to spend his days here.
Beginning in the 1960s, the Coast Guard began a program to automate lighthouses, eliminating the need for light keepers. Navigation technology turned to radar and satellite-based GPS. By the 1990s, many American lighthouses and lightships were obsolete and put out of commission. Hundreds were abandoned, fell into disrepair and slow decay, or were destroyed. But like a beacon, the beauty and heritage of these monuments attracted lighthouse lovers across the land. The National Historical Lighthouse Preservation Act of 2000 enabled the Coast Guard to sell or give away lighthouses. Volunteers stepped up, inspired to protect and restore lighthouses.
My wife and I had a great interest in the Grays Harbor Light Station because it's an architectural masterpiece. We have been volunteers continually since we retired here 9 years ago, and the lighthouse remains the focal point for us. People still use the lighthouses to navigate, and you can travel up and down the coast here and any coast, and if you have a light list that gives the signatures, which are the flashes, you can navigate up and down with those lighthouses alone. So it's still an important part of the navigation history and tradition. It needs to be restored. It's going to be expensive to do so. We've done 2 studies now on what needs to be done, and we intend to remain involved and get the job done.
Lighthouses are an integral part of our nation's history and worthy of respect and care as sentinels of our maritime culture.
Oh,
Did you
perfect.
enjoy the film?
Yes, I enjoyed it a lot.
Good, good. I gave you 3 stamps, even though you haven't seen Robin's Reef. I'll just assume the next time you take the ferry, you'll be on the lookout for it. So you have the one for the museum, and obviously you've seen the Statue of Liberty quite close. Like I said, for a brief period of time, it did serve as a lighthouse. So you have to. I didn't want to close the book because I don't know if the ink is dry. So whenever you feel capable of closing the book, yeah. But like I said, it should be drying shortly. I don't have any tissue paper to put there.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. Let me just show you 2 more lighthouses on our wall of lighthouses before you walk around and look at the exhibits.
Sure.
Just to give you an idea of how old some lighthouses are. We have 2 that go back to ancient times. The Colossus of Rhodes is considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. This was built on the island of Rhodes by the Greeks before Christ was born, and it was a statue of Helios, the god of the sun.
Okay.
And as you can see, he carries a torch. similar to obviously the Statue of Liberty. In fact, the Frenchman who designed the Statue of Liberty said he was inspired by this statue.
Okay.
But in ancient times, it was some poor Greek's job to climb to the top of that every night and light a bonfire to keep it through wind and rain lit, because there was no electricity in those days.
Okay.
It's no longer standing. It did collapse because of a hurricane into the earthquake, into the water. And if you sail into Rhodes Harbor today, a tour guide would point out the rocks on either side of the channel.
Okay.
Those rocks were the pedestal on which this statue once stood. Now, as old as this one is, it isn't the oldest one in history.
Okay.
That goes back to ancient Greece, to the Pharos of Alexandria. This was constructed 280 years before Christ was born.
Okay.
But it was actually built by the Greeks, not the Egyptians, because Alexandria was a Greek colony named after Alexander the Great. So it was 450 feet high, built of marble. At the top, once again, a bonfire, but there was a canopy on this one, so that would protect it through the wind and the rain from obviously being doused, the flames.
I see it.
Archaeologists have found pieces of this lighthouse in the harbor of Alexandria today. So this is a recreation of what it once looked like. Usually when I'm pointing this out to little kids, their eyes wander over to this one here. This looks like something out of a Harry Potter movie.
It does.
Yeah, it goes back to medieval England.
Okay.
That was the Eddystone Lighthouse that was built partially of wood, and that was eventually going to cause a problem. But these things sticking out are very intriguing.
Okay.
Before electricity and elevators, how would the lighthouse keeper get the goods up to the top of the lighthouse rather than carry them up a heavy winding staircase? So these were actually pulleys that would stick out, and he could pull up the heavy cargo or goods to the lighthouse tower. Now, because the bottom half was made of wood, it eventually caught fire and it collapsed into the sea. And so if you go to the southern coast of England today, this is the lighthouse that replaces it. So the modern Eddystone Lighthouse was built of stone.
Okay.
So it's standing in the harbor today, and it's withstood the test of time.
Okay.
Like I said, most of them are from the United States, but here's one from China.
This one's interesting.
Yeah, and I had no idea where it was located until a few months ago. We had a visitor from Hong Kong visit the museum, and so I asked him, have you seen this in the harbor at Hong Kong? He said no. So he took out his phone and he did some Googling, I guess, with his Chinese characters, and he found its location is in the city of Shanghai, which is on the east coast of China. It's a very cosmopolitan city. It doesn't have a lighthouse keeper today, but it is automated, so it does run, but it's basically in the harbor of Shanghai. So if you visit Shanghai someday, maybe you'll see it.
Sure.
Yeah, but like I said, most of them are from the United States. Let me tell you something about this building that we're in, as well as these other buildings that you saw when you were walking down the promenade. There's 7 buildings still standing, but originally there were 18. And this was basically the headquarters for the General Lighthouse Depot for the United States from 1864 until 1939, when this became a Coast Guard base. So I don't know if you noticed any of the dates on these buildings that have been boarded up.
Yeah.
The building next door is 1907. This building is technically the newest building, and it's the only one that's occupied. This was built in 1912, if you consider that new. It's over 100 years old. But the building that has the tarp on it, the black tarp on it, that's a very unique building. That was the administration building, and you'll see the date 1869 on it.
Yeah, I saw it on the top of the thing.
And these buildings we're trying to preserve. In fact, we hope to move next door into this building in 3 years. We're trying to raise enough money. We have so many exhibits and storage that we can't fit them in this building here. We hope to move into, that was a lamp shop where the lamps, the lanterns were assembled, the parts, the lenses put together, and then they were shipped to all parts of the United States. So we've gutted that building. We hope to move into that building and basically reopen it in 3 years. We'll have a light tower on the roof. We'll have an elevator to take people up. So if you come back and visit us in 3 years, hopefully you'll see an expanded basically. This building that we're in will be turned into a cafe. So this is what our hope is for the future. Yeah, raising enough money. So that's a quick synopsis of the buildings that have been housed on this site. Oh, the building has the black tarp on it.
Yeah.
The administration building. That building is a unique form of architecture. It's referred to as Beaux Arts style. And the designer of that building was responsible for many of the buildings in Washington, D.C. That's why that building is being preserved. And with enough money, someday, we have no foreseeable date in view right now, they'll open that building as a bed and breakfast. So hopefully this will be a much more active site in the next 5 to 10 years.
Right, to get more tourism.
Right,
more.
sure,
Got
in
it.
this area of Staten Island. So please walk around, take a look at all the exhibits. If you have any questions, call me over. My name is Charles. Hopefully I can answer them for you.
Sure, you answer almost everything.
Oh, well.
Everything is, you answer almost everything. Because I was about to ask more questions, but I was like, you nailed every little nail
Not
on the
everything,
coffin.
but I'm learning. Okay.
This is wonderful.
Yeah.
like,
I noticed you visited Fire Island and basically
Montauk.
Point. That's great. Have you visited any other states, or you're just starting your journey on lighthouses?
I'm starting my journey on lighthouses while I'm in Maritime College.
Oh,
so,
all right.
So like
You're in SUNY Maritime?
right.
Oh, great. Good.
So yeah, so I'm about to go to Sandy Hook, and then if I go further down, I'm about to go.
Oh,
to,
let me show you something.
Right.
Even though you missed the weekend, the Lighthouse Challenge was held this past weekend in
Okay.
New Jersey. This gives you all the lighthouses on the Jersey shoreline. So
Oh,
keepers.
this is perfect.
And you can just check off the ones that you visit. You know, if
Okay.
you got a car and you can visit them, you know, because you said you're going to Sandy Hook. That's the closest
Right.
one. Yeah. So these are all the ones in Jersey, and they do this every year. So maybe you can go on the website and find out when next year's challenge is going to be. And like I said, you'll basically fill up your book just with Jersey lighthouses.
pretty much. And then Coney Island's inactive because it's been brought by private family.
Right, and it's Seagate. It's in a gated community. You really
Okay.
can't get access. But we have that over here on our list of lighthouses.
Because I was supposed to get that stamp, but the NYPD told me like that you can't go to Coney Island.
Yeah,
So.
right. But you can see, I was on a cruise ship that left New York in September because I was going to Bermuda for a vacation. And as we went underneath the Verrazano Bridge, there was the light, and it's still operating.
Yeah.
Even though there's no lighthouse keeper, it's automated. There's a beacon of red light, and then it's followed by white light.
Yeah.
So it's easily to see if you're ever on a boat going underneath the Verrazano Bridge. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Great. Thanks. I appreciate it. Great. All right. You have a nice week.
I do have a question, right? So, okay, since I couldn't go to that lighthouse, how would I get stamped for that one?
That's I don't know. I guess you would have to go on their website to see if they have a website. Since it's not open to the public, I don't really know if it's open. If it's not open to the public, it might be difficult to obtain that one. Like I said, not all of them are open to the public. The ones that are, it's easy to get the stamps for those. But, you know, just Google Coney Island Lighthouse and see if there's a way you can obviously visit. I can't think of any other lighthouse. The only one that's, there's none in Queens.
This one's a Coast Guard station. I talked to one of the Coast Guard members during the career fair at SUNY
It's
Maritime.
on the Hudson or?
No, it's all in Suffolk County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's on the northern coast then of Long Island?
No, the Southern Coast.
The southern coast? Oh, Eaton's Neck. I'm not. See, a lot of them I'm not familiar with. I know there's quite a few from the Hudson River has lighthouses. In fact, some of them have been turned into bed and breakfasts that you can stay overnight. This is one right by Atlantic City. So if you ever go to the casinos in Atlantic City, this one I know is open to the public.
That's what originally was gonna go today, but I was like, it's 4-hour drive.
Yeah,
so
it's a
that's
long
to stop.
hour. Like I said, if you're going down to Atlantic City, then it's easy, to stop up.
Got
But
it.
like, you really need a summer day when you got plenty of time and you leave early in the morning. But like I said, these are the ones from New York and New Jersey, and most of them you can obviously get the stamp for if you visit them. But I really don't know how you would get Coney Island. You'd have to check on that one.
Yeah, and Throsneck is in SUNY Maritime, so now that's been brought by a private family, so I couldn't get a stamp for there as well. So
It's been bought by a private family. Are they restoring it, or are they gonna?
I think they're just keeping it. So I don't think they're restoring it really. But
Well, if they buy it, if they took possession for a reason, just to live there. Usually, if people restore them, they open it to the public.
yeah,
Did you Google Throgton to see if anything is available?
yeah, I googled it, so I'm gonna do it again. So I'm gonna Google it again.
Yeah.
So I asked
Because
all the
that's interesting
students
for somebody to keep it and not open it to the public and make money off it. Because a lot of these people who restore them, that's the intent, to obviously make them a tourist attraction.
pretty much.
Yeah. No, I don't know how you would get Coney Island. Yeah. This one was on Staten Island in Fort Wadsworth with the Coast Guard bases. It's a beautiful Victorian mansion, but unfortunately when the Coast Guard took possession of Fort Wadsworth, they wanted a parking lot, so they knocked down this.
Okay.
And they made a parking lot, and this is what they replaced it with, a little thing on top of Fort Wadsworth on Battery Weed, and so it's basically there today. It's not operational because the Verrazano Bridge now has all the lights lit at night, and so it's not necessary.
Okay.
So that, for a period of time before the bridge was built, was operational. Yeah, so some of them that are on this wall have not been, are not still with us today because, like I said, they've been demolished. But walk around, look at the exhibits,
Sure.
and I'll try to do some research for you while you're doing that.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. If you guys want to read everything, just pause the video and read it. Got a lot more to do.
I did some research for you. It says it's the Coney Island Lighthouse is still owned by the Coast Guard, but the cottage itself is leased to the Seagate Association, and you can try to contact them for setting up a visit. Now, that's probably the problem because it's a gated community. They're not going to give access to the general public because You know, it's a private community, and they want to keep out people they feel might be a problem. But that doesn't mean you'll be able to go inside the lighthouse. The lighthouse might be dangerous to walk up to the top if it hasn't been restored, and so that's another thing they might be worried about, a lawsuit. But here's the person you can contact if you want to. You want to take a photograph of this? Or just
sure, I got it.
You can go Joanne Crow of the Seagate Association. Here's her phone number. Tours may not be possible, so please check our virtual tour. There's a virtual tour below that will take you inside of it and show you these photographs.
Okay, so I'm gonna give her a call and see if I can get a stamp. Just like, even if I don't go itself, but at least I get a stamp from it.
Yeah, because like I said, that's the only way it's possible to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right, no problem. Thanks, Charles. I've seen this one before. This one.
Oh yeah, that's perfect to give you all the lighthouses in the tri-state area.
Yeah.
Before I forget, let me give you our brochure so you can share it with family and friends.
I will. Thank you. Yeah, Coney Island is no longer active. Montauk. Point Judith.
Hi, Laura. So the gentleman who was here, Thomas, he actually left, so I'll be taking over. So if you have any questions, I'm just going to be sitting over there. I know that you're taking. It's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, this is interesting.
Are you from here or?
I'm from Long Island.
You're from Long Island.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming today. I appreciate this. It's a really wonderful museum. I mean,
It is.
We're tiny but mighty, but you know what I mean. So And you're are you from a mariner's school or no?
Yeah, I'm from Maritime College.
You're from the Maritime College.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm part of the Lighthouse Society too.
Oh,
Got my stamp here.
look at you.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And what is your name?
Oh, Kevin.
Kevin, I'm Roberta.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Oh,
So, so take your time. If you have any questions, I'll be sitting over there. But if there's anything else, usually he gives a great orientation.
Okay.
So if you want to learn anything else that I could possibly help you with, I'll be more than happy to do so.
Sure.
Okay, thanks, Kevin.
No problem.
Bye.
Tybee Island. Tybee Island. That's what I was looking for. I found the island. Found it. Lake Superior. This lighthouse is unusual. I like the design of this. I love the exhibits here. If you guys want to pause the video and read it, just pause it. Hey guys, remember this guy? He's from the last episode. He was in Fire Island and Montauk, so remember this guy. During this video series, don't forget about this guy, this French guy. Don't forget about him. Oh wow. Drum Point. Some of these names are funny. Drum Point, Cape Disappointment, Gay Head. What's another funny name? Round Island. San Katie, Edgartown. We're gonna visit each and every one of these lighthouses in a minute. These ones here. Got all that new French. That's about those. Keychains. It's like this big go crazy. Put me the lighthouse. Alright guys, I'll see you guys outside. Alright folks, so this is the outro of this video, and I'm hoping you guys enjoyed everything. So this is the Staten Island Ferry over there. As you can see, if you can see further right there, Staten Island Ferry. And these are all the dikes. No pun intended. The dikes. No pun intended. The dikes. No pun intended. That you see in this area over here. And you see over here, I think that's the Verrazano Bridge over there. So yeah, Verrazano Bridge is right there. You see under that, it's a tanker ship. You see a tanker ship. You see like, I don't know what ship that says. I think these are pilot ships, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I'm hoping you guys enjoyed the museum. I'm hoping you guys enjoy all the exhibits. And this is the beautiful thing ever. And I got this sweatshirt because I'm part of the Lighthouse Society. So if you go to the Lighthouse, the National Lighthouse, the National Lighthouse Museum, go in there and say that Kevin the Navigator sends you. Go in there and you get a discount or free admissions. Don't quote me, but because I made my name known over there, just tell them that Kevin the Navigator has sent you. So you can go to, I'll put the address, the phone number, and who y'all can contact and stuff like that. I'm looking back because of the birds. You can contact and all that jazz. And when you guys go there, just say that Kevin the Navigator sends you. All right, guys, I'm hoping you have a good day, good night, and a good afternoon. Kevin Navigator out.